Hello, all. I did not realize that we were all. Excuse me. That we were already at 7:01 today. So I'm sorry for being a whole minute late to the party. I hope you can forgive me. I don't know why I need these yet. Polly's not on at the moment. He has a meeting. I'm pretty sure that he will be. It's a work related meeting, IRL before URL and all that jazz. So hopefully, ooh, I found a bottle cap with my foot. Hopefully, we can. I missed. Hopefully, we can see the otter before it is that we have to retire for the evening. If not, then this will be a quick, short, 1 hour long show. Not a big deal. Because I can entertain pretty easily. Well, there she is. Hi. Okay, bye. I can entertain the people pretty easily. Just by myself for a whole hour and such. Not the biggest deal in the whole wide world. How is everyone this fine evening? How was everyone's Mother's Day? Did we have a good time with our mamas? I know that I had a I don't want to say good time because it wasn't anything spectacular, but considering it was the first Mother's Day that I actually spent with my mother in 5 or 6 years, I guess that says awesome. Something. That says a little something. So I woke up this morning, got ready, did my makeup, as you can tell. It looks gorgeous. I was having a really good hair day, too. Put on my dress, went out to go see my mom, because I thought, oh, you know what, we'll go out for brunch or breakfast or whatever. It'll be a whole thing. It'll be a good time. Mom did not want to go out, and Mom gets what Mom wants on Mother's Day. Duh. So we didn't go out. We didn't end up going out, which is it's not the end of the world. It's quite all right. We just kind of sat around and chilled and talked. We're going out tomorrow evening for Mother's Day dinner, which my brother will be able to attend because he's coming into town tomorrow afternoon because we're going to the wedding together. Well, not together, but he will be at the wedding as well, which means that he's going to travel with the rest of our family to get to Florida, not this week, but next week. So he will be down there with me, El Boyfriendo, and the rest of our family. It'll be a good time. What else? Yeah, so me, my sister, my mom, and my brother, we're all going to go out for Mother's Day tomorrow at a fancy restaurant with an impeccable wine selection. So your girl is super excited about that. Yeah. It's a big deal for me, honestly, celebrating Mother's Day. Like, celebrating Mother's Day with my mother for the first time since freshman year, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And I was, how many years ago was freshman year of high school? That's what, I was 15. I'm 23 now. Yeah, it has to be since freshman year of high school because that was when everything kind of went to shit with our relationship. I won't go into an extraneous amount of detail regarding that, but y'all know my parents have been divorced since I was 6 years old, and there's a whole bunch of baggage there between my mom and my pop that I tried to keep out of, but at that point in time, they were going through one of their low seasons, you know, because they were always, for the entirety of their post-divorce relationship, they were always going through some sort of custody dispute, disagreement, court-ordered therapy, custodial, hodgepodgey type of dispute. It was a hot mess all of the time, on and off for several years there. And then finally, freshman year of high school, something happened. I, for the life of me, couldn't even remember what exactly it was that set her off, but she just kind of stopped picking us up. And washed her hands of all parenting. And that was that for 8 months straight. And then, well, after 8 months, you get, as a child, you get a little bit bitter with a parent if they decide to leave you at the grocery store for even 20 minutes. But 8 months of just kind of, it wasn't no contact because we still got emails, but it was, she wasn't putting in the same amount of effort that my dad was. She wasn't picking us up. I remember it was very jarring to find out that my mother wasn't coming to pick me up one day after school, 20 minutes after I'd been waiting for her to come pick us up for her scheduled visitation time. And she's just like, I only get 4 hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays and every other weekend with my children. It's not worth it at that point. And she's like, I can't justify, at least this was my understanding of why she did this. I can't justify driving all the way out there to spend that little amount of time with my kids. And I'm like, excuse me, bitch? Anyway, water under the bridge. It's been 8 years. I was bitter about it. I did not talk to her. I had to be court mandated to spend 4 hours a week with her at one point. And then I turned 18 and I was still super bitter about it, obviously. And then I went to college and I had the luxury of time and space away from family to kind of view things from a perspective. And during that time, I didn't really reach out to her. Anytime I was in town, I was only ever a part of her life because my little sister was a part of her life, and that was the only reason that I actually made any effort, was because of my little sister. And then I very quickly realized that that wasn't going to work because my sister was picking up a lot on the attitudes that I was harboring for my mother. And I do want my sister to have a better relationship with our mother than I did, because there are times in my life where I look back and I'm like, I really could have used a mom then. A lot. It would have been nice. Anyway. So I have adopted this newer philosophy when dealing with my mother of, well, we're not going to ever be the mother-daughter relationship that everyone else has with their mom and, daughter, whatever. I'll be the essentially the responsible sister type for both of them, my sister and my mother, the mediator, if you will. And that seems to be working out much better. I don't necessarily revel in the idea of that being who I am to them, but, well, I love being my little sister's big sister, but not being my mother's responsible sister person, I guess. There's never a role that I anticipated adopting in my entire life, but someone's got to do it. Anyway, so for the sake of my sister, I have decided to be the mature adult in the situation and show her what a responsible, respectful adult person can do in the face of someone who's hurt them egregiously in the past. It's a struggle, I will say. It's not easy to be patient with someone who has hurt you. It's a very difficult thing to bring yourself to any behavior that's a modicum of affectionate. I don't feel like I'm lying to myself in that I am pretending to adopt this persona, but it's not 100%. I don't want to say it's 100%, not 100% genuine, because there is a modicum of genuineness in that. I am of the belief that I only get a certain amount of time with the people on Earth that I have a special connection to, my mother being one of them. Actually, one of them that I have the least amount of time to have a special connection with, because she is sick and she probably won't last 15 more years, which is a really young point in one's life to lose a parent in a first world country. So I am coming at it from a very doom and gloom perspective of, let's make the most of what we got, even though it ain't shit. Not the most positive of attitudes, which is hilarious coming from myself, but there we are. Nothing to be done. It's been a challenge, but I do feel like it's been rewarding in what I've learned. Learned patience. I've learned a lot of patience. I've learned when to fight and when to fold. I've learned that being combative with people that have hurt you doesn't really help. I mean, it might feel like it might be cathartic in that it might temporarily ease your troubled heart and feel good in that moment to actually be nasty to that person, but in retrospect, jabbing somebody with words that's hurt you, it doesn't feel all that fulfilling at the end of the day. I don't like who I am when I do that. And I've learned that speaking out of anger it's not the most optimal way to communicate your feelings, because people don't want to listen to maliciousness being spewed at them. They're going to want to defend themselves. They're not going to listen to you if you're attacking them. They're going to defend themselves or attack back. It's really a crapshoot. In my mom's case, it's a very defensive hardline that she takes. And you very quickly find out that that's not the most productive way to have a conversation with somebody, is if you attack them. And I think that's how that's how I've been trying to approach my online interactions with people nowadays, is less combatively and more trying to be productive. Because the more productive that you get, the more you can get done. Otherwise, you're just stonewalling yourself. And life is so damn short, too damn short to just stonewall yourself in a conversation with a person. You want to get somewhere with an individual if you're having a discussion with them, even if you don't like them. You want to get to common ground. And attacking that person is not going to get you to common ground all that quickly. They're going to want to defend themselves. They're going to want to attack you back. They're going to want to pick apart your argument, take out all the little semantical arguments that they can possibly come up with to worm their way out of whatever logical sense your attacks might have in any capacity. They're not going to listen to you, even if you have a point, even if you think that your point is wholly valid. They're just going to see it as an attack, and it's not going to get you anywhere. And I think that's a big problem, certainly with interpersonal relationships that you have in your day-to-day life, but definitely also a problem that people have in today's political atmosphere, is that they approach other people's opinions and perspectives as an attack on their person rather than a different perspective. And of course, a lot of the time, it's not people attacking them with their perspective, but people feel like they're being attacked for whatever reason. Maybe in the past they have some sort of interaction with other people where it has been an attack on their person. And they do feel like, you know what? I am I'm being dehumanized by this person who has a differing perspective than me. But not in all cases. But they're equating that with all cases because that's been the bulk of their experiences. Hi, Polly.
Weebo!
I'm glad you could make it before I got too deep into the whole concept of what's wrong with the way that people conversate on the internet. You see, it started out with me talking about how I've been approaching my relationship with my mother recently. And
Mother's
that,
Day. How
yes,
apropos.
yes. Well, you know that I have an estranged relationship with my mother, or I have had one with her for the last 8 years or so. It's
I
not
thought
been.
strained. I didn't realize estranged would
Well,
be a word you would choose.
there was a period of time when I didn't talk to her, and then there was a period of time where I was court mandated to spend time with her, and then there was a period of time
I remember
when
that.
there was a period of time when I just again didn't talk to her, or whenever I interacted with her, it was only for the sake of my little sister, and any interactions that I had with her personally were nasty and
You know what? I do remember
maliciously
this.
cathartic.
I think you are right in saying estranged now that I think it over. Okay.
Yeah, so I was talking about that, and I've recently come to the conclusion that life is too short to hold a grudge. For someone that's hurt you, that you do want to, on some level, maintain a modicum of a relationship with. Maybe not fully the one that it was initially intended to be, but maybe a different one. And I got off into this tangent of a lot of the reason why I was so angry with her for a lot of the time was because I would attack her with these I would say justified accusations and attacks and jabs verbally, and she would react defensively to those attacks. And I would get angry at that because I was like, you have no right to defend yourself. You're in the wrong. But I, in attacking her, was not being the most mature conversationalist communicator that I could be. And that was a large part of the reason why communication would often break down between the two of us, is because I was so aggressive in the approach that I took to having myself be understood by her, that it was stonewalling any hope of improvement that we would have. And I see a lot of that being modeled by my little sister. And I can't help but think to myself, wow, I did that. That's partially me. Because I was her hero. I am still her hero. I'm like her big sister. I am like the coolest thing ever since Betty White.
So she has a realistic appraisal of you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's my little sister, and I'm cool big sis Weebo.
Well, you're Weebo's enough.
I'm the big kahuna.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, so
Daniel Folman and Deco ask a good question. Does your mom watch these streams?
I know that she sometimes has a tendency to frequent my channel. This is actually something that I'm not 100% super proud of, but she one of the videos that she has seen that I did put out that has really hurt her in the past is my Dear Dad, Happy Mother's Day video from a few years ago.
Yeah, that'd do it.
That was one of those things that, while I am proud of the message that I was sending to my father, it was at my mother's expense. And in an effort to appreciate my dad, I hurt my mother, and I knew I was doing it. And while I might have felt justified at the time in doing that, probably not the most the most mature of approaches to take. So I'm essentially reflecting on the mistakes of my own interactions with someone that I find or have found in the past to be this deplorable bitch of a woman who abandoned me.
Oof.
And I'm like, okay, yes, shit has happened, but she has made efforts to improve. Plus, the way that I am dealing with it is being reflected back at me by my sister. Do I really want her to simulate that behavior, both to her mother and to others that she feels have wronged her? If I do that, then I'm not being the best role model that I possibly can be. If I do that, I'm not trying to be conducive of improvement in that relationship or in any relationship, really. What makes my mother special from people who hurt me online, or people who, like, I'm trying to hold myself to a better standard is what I'm getting at here.
Oh my God,
because recently I have embraced the idea of discourse on the internet has kind of disgusted me, because I look at it from a perspective of someone who is of the understanding of other people, or I can put myself in their shoes and I understand how they feel, or I can try to understand how they feel. Maybe not 100%, but I can see their perspective, and I understand their emotions, what brings them to where they are. And I'm like, okay, if you want to have a productive conversation with people, you can't attack them in your language. You can't be an asshole to them. You can't be disingenuous with them. You can't be the asshole back, because then no one listens to you. And then I thought to myself, I'm not modeling that with my interactions with my mother. One of the most important relationships in my life, I am not doing the thing that I am so gung-ho about online. And that really made me stop and think, wow, I'm being an absolute hypocrite. And there's nothing I hate more than hypocrites. There's nothing I hate more than that. And I was being one, and I feel like, oh gosh, I feel so bad about it. But I'm making every stride I can to do better in that interpersonal relationship that affects me so deeply, so that I don't feel like a hypocrite when I do it online or when I preach it online. So yeah, Weebo has had some growth.
Some personal growth.
I'm glad that we could hash it out here together online. Deco says, I'd say get a restraining order against her. Seriously, cut that witch out of your life. Don't look back. She's never done anything to me personally that she's harmless. All right. She's a wheelchair bound, multiple sclerosis having woman who doesn't have a whole bunch of time left in her life. She, honestly, the woman probably never should have been a mother, but she's a mother of 3 now. And so we do with that what we can. I don't want to look back in 20 years and be like, wow, my mom is passed away and I regret not having tried to mend that. Because, like, okay, she'll never be my mom. I can't get 8 years of my life back with her in that capacity. But what we can do now is we can improve her relationship with my sister while my sister still has her, because my sister still needs her. And we can be the kind of, like, I'll be the mature friend that you have, woman. You just listen to me and I will steer you in the correct direction. Learn from your mistakes with me. I will give you guidance. But yeah, no, she's not done anything strictly that would warrant a restraining order. Like, she wasn't abusive. She was just clueless and not there. And manipulative of the legal system. And a little bit Jesus crazy. A lot of it Jesus crazy, actually. But she, as ridiculous as it sounds, loved her children in her very own unique way. She's a little bit nuts, I will say. But in, like, the harmless way. You know, like you ever have, like, the old lady that's, like, dementia riddled and kind of nutso and repeats the same story over and over again and can't quite talk right, and
yeah,
that's kind of my mom. a little bit loopy. Her mother is also like that, so I guess that's what I have to look forward to in my old age.
Her mother is like that as well.
Her birth mother, yeah, because she was adopted as a child. And we have met my grandmother on her birth mother on that side. So I've not
Do you
met.
think what happened with her mother plays into the way that she interacts with you?
So I don't know if it was anything that actually happened with her birth mother, but definitely the result of her being given up for adoption as a baby, and it altered the way that her adoptive parents treated her in comparison to her non-adoptive brother. There's a very interesting dynamic there that my cousin has actually told me about from her perspective as the daughter of her father, my uncle, adoptive uncle on that side. She has reiterated to me that apparently my mother was kind of treated like special because she was adopted, a little bit of a princess in some respects, kind of given all of the leeway as opposed to her older brother, who is the birth child in the family. Because what you have to understand about my grandparents is that they wanted a daughter, but cancer ran in my grandmother's family, and so they decided to opt for an adoptive child rather than birthing a daughter and risking the chance of that being the case. My grandmother actually died of cancer like 20 some years ago before I was born, before I could meet her. So yeah, true to course, that's what happened. And so what I understand is what happened is they did kind of princessify her in a way. I don't know exactly what way, but my mother was, I don't know how to explain it other than just princessify.
No, I think I get what you mean.
Yeah. So that was how she was kind of raised, and then that was kind of the attitude that she took into the rest of her life, was that, oh, things will be taken care of, and I can just kind of cry my way into getting what I want. Or maybe not cry, but like play that sympathy card with people to get what it is that I want.
Is that the type of manipulation that you're speaking of?
Yeah, she's a very teary woman. She cries very easily. And I don't even know if she knows that she does it. Like, I don't think that she's trying to. I think that's just what happens. Nowadays, she cries less out of manipulation and more out of guilt, sadness, it seems. Definitely the impending reality that she has not got a whole bunch of good years left on this planet is probably another thing that definitely spurs on the waterworks. Because like I said, she has MS. She was diagnosed with it while my brother was in the womb. So that means that she's had it for the last 21 plus years. And if you know anything about people with MS, is that their lifespan is about average 25 years after diagnosis. So she's not got a whole bunch. It's at that making amends point in her life. Like, let's make the most of it while I'm still here with what I have kind of attitude. Yeah, I don't think that she's actually trying to manipulate us into doing anything, because we're all very, very used to it right now. It wouldn't work regardless. We're very hardened to the fact that, yeah, mom cries sometimes, get over it. Now it's just a matter of, why is she crying? It's probably because she's lamenting of the patheticness of her current state, or the fact that none of her children really want to spend all that much time with her, or the fact that she is incapable of doing things for herself all that much, and it is heartbreaking to watch. Um, it's not easy to see anyone that you love um, kind of degenerate physically and mentally into a state of uselessness, but especially someone that there's so much baggage with. I don't know. It feels a lot more impactful. This is a very heavy subject we're talking about. I'm so sorry, guys, but happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day. As she takes a slug of 13+% ABV wine, I'm sure that's helping with everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's a good time. It is brick and mortar, not Chardonnay.
Not red like that.
No. It starts with a C though. I can't remember. Oh God.
Shiraz. That starts with an S, but I don't know. I'm trying to think.
No.
Chianti?
Maybe. I put the bottle in the recycling already, so I can't look at it.
It's a little dark for Chianti.
I don't know.
Chianti is mostly Sangiovese, which is a thin-skinned grape, so it shouldn't be that dark.
I could probably look it up.
No, all right.
Yeah, chat is kind of okay. So funny, the chat is kind of where I was 5 years ago in terms of my mother. They're like, "Fuck
You're
this
an angry
bitch."
bunch. Yeah, what the fuck? How dare
No,
they?
I get it. I get it. This is a woman that has previously hurt me. It makes sense, but guys, there's no reason to be angry at my mother. I'm over it. Been over it for a good long while now. Maybe a Cabernet. I can't for the life of me, though, remember. I read the bottle. I know I did. Oh, actually, you know what? I have it logged because I drank it on Friday.
I put all the wine I drink on a spreadsheet. Ooh, a cab sauv.
Well, how else am I supposed to know what it is that I put into my body at every waking moment of the day?
I will not enable you, Weebo.
You don't want to enable me?
With your spreadsheetism?
My spreadsheetisms are what makes my world go round.
This is unfair. Plus, I'm going to put a pin in that because this is something I want to bring up in that regard later. But it would be a hard gear shift from traumas of the past to.
Well, okay, so to kind of redirect, but not really, from Mother's Day. Happy Birthing Women's Day, Polly.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Did you
Birthing
see...
persons?
Birthing Persons Day. Did you see that video? Of the
which one?
Oh well, okay. So the candidate, the Congress member, I think it was, where it originated from was birthing women. I can't remember. Was it senator or congresswoman? Something. Da 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 da. I'm gonna go find it because I wanted to talk about it. No, that's the shredded chicken recipe that I found so detestable. We can watch that in a second too. Don't you worry, I have opinions there as well.
I've got some. Did you watch AAA on Wednesday?
Wednesday? Did not. I did. Not.
I came up with a new game. You might have fun with it.
Okay, all right.
Cool. Is it meat? Or what meat is it? I mean,
what meat is it? Oh, I can't wait to show you the shredded chicken video.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The whole point of that game is just, oh, Jesus Christ. She doesn't look happy.
Single mother of two.
Okay, are you ready for this?
I am ready.
All right.
St. Louis, and I thank you, Chairwoman Maloney and Congresswoman Kelly, for your leadership in convening this all-important hearing. It is an honor to join my...
Can you hear?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure.
Sisters in service, Congresswoman Presley, Underwood, and Adams as part of today's panel. I sit here before you as a mother, a single mother of two. Zion, my eldest child, was born at 23 weeks gestation versus what is considered a normal pregnancy at 40 weeks. When I was going through my pregnancy with him, I didn't think that there could even be a possibility that there could be a complication. I became sick during my pregnancy. I had hyperemesis gravidarum, which was severe nausea and vomiting. I was constantly throwing up for the first 4 months of my pregnancy. Around 5 months, I went to see my doctor for a routine prenatal visit. As I was sitting in the doctor's office, I noticed a picture on the wall that said, "If you feel like something is wrong, something is wrong. Tell your doctor." I felt like something was wrong, so that's what I did. I told my doctor. I told her that I was having severe pains, and she said, "Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Go home, and I'll see you next time." So that's what I did. I went home. 1 week later, I went into preterm labor. At 23 weeks, my son was born. 1 pound, 3 ounces. His ears were still in his head. His eyes were still fused shut. His fingers were smaller than rice, and his skin was translucent, a black baby. Translucent skin. You could see his lungs. He could fit within the palm of my hand. We were told he had a 0% chance of life. The chief of neonatal surgery happened to be in the hospital that morning and saw my case on the surgical board, and she decided to try to resuscitate him. It worked, and for the first month of his life, Zion was on the ventilator fighting to live. For 4 months, he was in the neonatal care unit. The doctor who delivered my son apologized. She said, "You were right, and I didn't listen to you. Give me another chance." 2 months later, I was pregnant with...
What?
No, it's fine. Let's go. I'll offer my thoughts at the end, but moving on.
Well, no, if you we have another minute and a half.
Yes, stories like this happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's, if you want to talk about bullet points of a story in terms of like, here are the main turning events where like event sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, each one of them, she is a righteous, hard done by victim that through no fault of her own and her attempts to do right was nonetheless. And then the person who wronged her, "I am so sorry, give me another chance." Let me see if I get this right. A licensed doctor, a physician of neonatal care, approached a patient after you gave premature birth, took personal responsibility for it, apologized, and asked for another chance. So open themselves wide up to litigation like fucking crazy to an elected member of Congress.
I don't think she was elected at the time.
But to anyone, fine. Okay. Even if she wasn't. To a woman of some sort of professional standing, you could figure before she became elected. I don't know what her particular background was, but she doesn't seem like a particularly weak-willed or unintelligent woman. Mm-hmm. So to admit that to even a dumb person would be a dumb thing to do, and that she seems far from a dumb person.
Yes.
I just, okay, the internet's full of like pressing X it out. I would have broken my X button by now.
Yeah.
Like just
like a sure Jan right here.
Point for point. It's like, I don't know about that. Mm-hmm. Okay, wait, this is getting weirder. You are sounding ever more like the hero in this story. What is this all leading to? Which is what I kind of wanted to wait. And therefore, because of the weight of all of this emotionalism, I am here to say that X.
Okay. So let's hear what X is then.
All right.
Because I am too curious.
At 16 weeks, I went for an ultrasound at the clinic and saw a different doctor.
Did you hear that?
No, actually.
Right, and I didn't listen to you. Give me another chance. 2 months later, I was pregnant again, so I went back to her. At 16 weeks,
she went back to the bitch that wouldn't listen to her.
She went back to the world's most incompetent, self-admittedly incompetent doctor.
It's very telling. But I will talk about that in a hot second. I want to get through the rest of this because... Yeah, anyway.
I went for an ultrasound at the clinic and saw a different doctor who was working that day. I found out again I was in preterm labor. The doctor told me that the baby was going to abort. I said, "No, you have to do something." But he was adamant, and he said, "Just go home. Let it abort. You can get pregnant again because that's what you people do."
I don't believe you. I don't fucking believe you. Not for a fucking second. Jesus Christ. You could be a multi-billionaire off of the fucking civil suits around this one doctor.
No, there's 2 doctors, not just the one, because she went back to that doctor, but then she went in for an ultrasound with a different doctor.
Oh, the ultrasound
and this is what the other,
this was the ultrasounder.
Yeah. They're like, "You're going to abort, just deal with it. Go have another baby. You do that."
do after the doctor left. So we saw a chair sitting in the hallway. My sister picked up the chair and she threw it down the hallway. Nurses came running from everywhere to see what was wrong. A nurse called my doctor and she put me on a stretcher. The next morning, my doctor came in and placed a cerclage on my uterus, and I was able to carry my baby. My daughter, my angel, who is now 20 years old, my son, who was saved, is now 21 years old. This is what desperation looks like, that chair flying down a hallway. This is what being your own advocate looks like. Every day, Black women are subjected to harsh and racist treatment during pregnancy and childbirth. Every day, Black women die because the system denies our humanity. It denies us patient care. I sit before you today as a single mom, as a nurse, as an activist, and as a congresswoman, and I am committed to doing the absolute most to protect Black mothers, to protect Black babies, to protect Black birthing people, and to save lives. Thank
There we
you,
go.
and I yield back.
Black birthing
Okay,
people.
so
I have
it didn't lead anywhere to say I'm here to fight for this.
This is my story. We need to protect the Black birthing people.
Okay, the Black birthing people, but most importantly, the Black babies, and capital B's all the way. Well done, transcriptor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just take a wild
alliteration.
Guess. Yeah, she's a congresswoman from Congress sitting individual from.
Congresswoman Cori Bush is the doing the most for MO-01
from Missouri.
Means, okay.
First district of Missouri, first congressional district of Missouri. I'm gathering from what you said there, but regardless, I'd love to look up her Missouri voting record. How many times has she voted to continue on with Planned Parenthood and other aborting procedures, protecting Black babies?
Excellent question.
You know that Black women are make the largest use per capita of abortion services in the United States, right?
Mm-hmm. I do know that. I have.
You know, more Black babies were aborted in New York State than were born, right?
I do.
Now that was true in 2018, which is the last time the stats are available for us. So the numbers might have changed after that, just to be specific.
Yes.
Okay. Were you doing anything to protect those Black babies? An entire generation of your people before they ever saw the world? Now, I'm not trying to give a pro-life speech here. I'm trying to go off of her statement of righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
That is right. It is right to protect children of this ethnicity because they are not allowed the same access to healthcare, and their mothers are not, and therefore they, by extension, are not. If that's true, what is you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because I would be willing. I'll bet you $50 right now she is not anything near pro-life.
Mm-hmm. Before I say what I want to say about this, because I have a number of tidbits of information, being a birthing person or a potential birthing person. I have several opinions. But thank you, Alpha and Omega, for the donation over the Streamlabs. On this Mother Day, here to you, I'm sure you'll be a great mother. I mean, that's the intention. It's actually it's actually funny. I went to go see El Boyfriendo's parents today.
God.
I'm gonna say it was the funniest thing I heard all day. Actually, in the last month, I swear to God. El Boyfriendo's dad. He goes, "Happy Mother's Day to you, and hopefully next year hopefully next year we'll actually get to wish you a happy Mother's Day." And I'm like,
and I said, whenever health freeze is over.
Hey!
No one's talking to you.
Bet. Anyway, so.
Well, thank you, Alpha Omega, for the $10. Greatly appreciate it. It's Mother's Day, but I think you deserve some bucks here, too. Well, I greatly appreciate that. Now, my mom told me I would never have children, but...
No, it's because you're not a birthing person.
Well, you know what I meant by that. And what she meant by that. She said, and here's the line, you just don't seem the type. I'm not sure what she meant by that, but yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you'd make an excellent father, Polly.
Maybe. Like, but it's like, all right, I'm here. The birth of my child. Your child was born 20 minutes ago. You're late. Like, just...
Okay, well, when you put it like that, yeah, no procreate. You're gonna miss important life events.
I'll try and not be late for that part. Zombie K says, "What is a birthing person?" I missed that. In her description of all of the people that she is there to fight for and protect, the particular sitting individual elected to Congress, want to be careful here, said that she is there to fight for Black parents and black women's access to healthcare because they are systematically denied it. And birthing persons was one of the people that she added in that litany. Wow, Weebo, what are you doing? Yeah, I do. Yeah,
that wasn't my wine.
Oh, you're the sediment, you mean?
I've never had wine with sediment.
I thought you were just.
Look at it.
I thought you were just staring at the. Oh yeah, look at the chunkers.
That's some chunky wine there. Oh, sorry.
Woo. Good wine should be chewed.
I guess. Anyway. Okay, so I have opinions, Polly. I can't wait to tell them to you.
Shoot.
But they come with a story. And unlike the good congresswoman here, I will not be reading it off of a script.
Elected individual of Congress, please.
Sorry, an individual of Congress.
Capital B, Black individual of Congress.
So I understand the idea of being your own advocate in the medical
What?
in medical sectors, right? Like the idea of doctors making mistakes and not taking patients seriously. I get that, okay, because I have my own personal experience with that. It took me 5 different gynecologists to get diagnosed with PCOS because I knew something was wrong. Tender age of like 16, 17 years of age. When you bleed out your no square for a solid 12 days, that kind of gives you an indicator that, hey, something's amiss. Something is awry. Something is no bueno. You know, and there are complications that come with over bleeding. Like you can turn anemic if you lose too much blood like that. It's not good. That comes with its own whole variety of health complications. But it took me 5 individual doctors to get me to actually have the test to confirm if there was something wrong with me. Because I would go to a doctor and they'd be like, oh, that's normal for someone your age. And I'm like, no, it's normal for someone in their first year of puberty. I've been through this for 3 years. My menstrual cycle doesn't just suddenly fluctuate like this. It's been pretty stable for the last 2 years. Something is amiss. Something is awry. I'm skipping periods and I am having 12-day periods. It's a hot mess. Something is not correct. And so I went to the gynecologist. So they're like, oh, you just need birth control. That's all. We'll regulate this. And I'm like, okay. But then, shit was still wrong. And then they sent me, I went to a different gynecologist because I'm like, okay, the last person was a bust. They didn't give me any answers. I'm looking for something more than just, oh, you're in puberty, so this makes sense. And I'm like, I haven't grown any bit in any capacity. Nothing new has developed on me in 3 years because I hit like my plateau for development at 13. This is at 16. So I'm like done. Nothing new has transpired. It's just my menstruation is out of whack. So I go to the next doctor and they're like, oh, we'll just up your dose of the same birth control. And I'm like, okay, but that doesn't actually tell me what's wrong with me. What's wrong with me? So I go to another doctor. I don't know. I go to the same doctor, but the doctor's not in, and their nurse practitioner is there. So I see a nurse practitioner. She just gives me a different birth control and sends me on my way. And then there's like 2 more of these. And the final straw that I had was doctor prescribing me a completely different birth control that put me into a very deep depression for like a week. You're supposed to stay on the pill pack to get acclimated to it for the entirety of the period cycle. So that's all 28 individual pills that you're supposed to take before you're like, okay, let's switch. Or, okay, we're good. Technically, you're supposed to go 3 months before everything kind of plateaus out and regulates itself. But after a week on this pill pack, I am crying for no reason. I am miserable. I am weeping for absolutely no reason. Oh, boyfriendo can attest to this. He remembers. Right, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not paying attention. But I was a hot mess. And I'm like, it's the birth control. That's the only possible reason. Because there is nothing in my life currently that is causing me such heartache that I would be this emotional. So I quit that pack. And I rubber banded back to a happy-go-lucky Weebo instantaneously. Because I don't seem the type to just weep for no reason, right, Polly? Something's got to be seriously wrong for that to be the case. So fix that, get a recommendation for another birth control, or not birth control, but another gynecologist from, I think it was my uncle, actually. But funnily enough, he gave me a recommendation from somebody that he worked with who swears by this lady. And so I go to visit her. And at this gynecologist's office, the lady, for the first time, she takes me seriously. She goes, okay, so we're going to schedule for internal ultrasound. It basically is just a giant wand that they shove up you, and they, like, kind of twist it around looking for shit. Instead, so it's a little bit violating, but it did the trick. We found out that I had cysts on my ovaries. So they don't look like normal ovaries. They have pockets of little hormones that every once in a while just kind of expel hormones just at random. And that's the big reason for why it is that I have such irregular periods. And so, funnily enough, the only treatment for this is birth control. The only, like, manageable treatment for this is birth control. But, of course, there are other ways that you can try to alleviate the symptoms through diets, because what I ended up finding out later on as I was reading about this is the way that you eat can be triggered by insulin fluctuations or gluten. If you have a certain amount of gluten, it can be triggered by that as well. So some women with PCOS tend to go type, I think it's 1 diabetic, because of the insulin fluctuation. So that's something to also be aware of. So it's a good thing that I was diagnosed with it, because I was already at risk for diabetes per my family line. So it's not like, oh, the only real treatment for this is birth control, so it wouldn't have made a difference if you had gotten diagnosed or not. No, you still want to be aware of that, because some of the triggers for this and the things that emphasize it can also have worse adverse health. Like they can be comorbid, comorbidities, like with psychology things. You can have more than one thing because one triggers the other.
Gotcha. Really quick, thank you, Lion Patriot, for the $10. He simply says, cake is awesome.
Yes, Lion Patriot had his birthday 2 days ago, so we should sing him a happy birthday if he so feels inclined to have us do that. I would be happy to oblige, sir, if that is what your wish is. But thank you also, Lion Patriot, for the donation. Damn UL Boyfriend Supreme, give Weebo your seed. Lion, do you want me to have a small Weebo running around?
Oh my god, excuse me.
Hey, babe.
Hey, what?
Thanks. I hate it.
You don't want to have a small Weebo running around?
No.
Hey!
I already have a small Weebo running around, and that's more.
Gee, thanks. But yeah, birth control pills do mess with your hormones. That's why I was exceedingly emotional on the one pack that the doctor prescribed me. It was an absolute nightmare. Trust me. Like, you don't want to mess with your hormones. It's fucked. Getting it correct, because body chemistry, hormone chemistry for a person is complicated enough without any alteration. Add to the fact that you have to maintain it, even if you're not, going from one gender to the other, it's complicated as fuck, and it will mess you up. Like, part of the reason why my boobs are so big is because of the fact that I'm on hormones. It has nothing to do with me individually so much as it has to do with the fact that the hormones that I'm currently on inhibit my the reception of
I just
what?
I'd be careful about saying that on the internet. I'm on these particular hormones and they made my boobs big. Oh, careful. You're going to get...
Well, how do you think trans women get boobies?
I'm just saying you're going to have all kinds of people wondering what hormones you're taking because they want the big old titties. I'm just saying.
Well, I can tell them strictly what it is that I take.
Well, you'll well done.
Anyway,
well done.
I won't. But the fact of the matter is, I only have the big titties because the hormones that I'm on have a tendency to make me hungrier than I should be, like to trick my body into thinking that I'm more hungry than I should be. So what used to be a fulfilling meal back before I had the birth control started to not be. So I was eating more than I thought, thinking, oh, you know what? I'm still hungry, which, is supposed to be the indicator that you need more nutrients. But it's not. It was inhibiting, because when you are hungry, your body secretes a hormone. I can't remember exactly what the name is, but it secretes a hormone that tells you that you're hungry. And I guess part of the consequences of being on artificial hormones is that it messes with your hormones, including the one that tells you that you're hungry. So my boobs exist because I'm hungry. They are the way that they are because I am hungry.
It's not my fault. I'm just hungry. Jeez.
Yeah. But that caused a few other issues. That's why I'm going to see the nutritionist, because I'm like, I gotta figure this out somehow, some way. So I did get my blood drawn today, or not today, yesterday I got my blood drawn. So once I get those results back, we're gonna come up with a nice meal plan that works for me, that is unique to my body's chemistry and experiences and my everything. So we're gonna get that under control. For the first time in my life, it's great because now I have all this healthcare that I can blow on frivolous things like nutrition.
Frivolous.
Well, actually, it's funny because my dad's been on a weight loss journey for the better part of my entire life. He's been trying to get down to his ideal weight for 20-something years. And he just hasn't been able to. Or at least for the 20 years that I've been aware of it. Like, I remember being 8 and eating Weight Watcher meals with him in front of the TV because, like, he was a freshly minted divorcee. And he's like, I don't know how to fucking cook. So he'd double duty his efforts. I need to feed my children, and I don't know how to cook, but I want to lose weight. So we're gonna do Weight Watchers meals because why the fuck not? Anyway, so yeah, I remember eating those like little trays of food, and I'm like, oh, this is delicious, Dad. But he's been trying to lose weight for the better part of 20 years. He's only finally just gotten around to it because I guess currently the most reliable diet he's been working on has been to cut certain foods, or not cut certain foods, but cut down on the calorie intake, which, tried and true method. It works, but you're not going to be satisfied. And you rubber band quite easily depending on your body chemistry. But like I said, the last 20 years, and not once did he ever go see a nutritionist about this. I'm like, doesn't it make sense to figure out what works best for you personally and then attune your diet to that? Not just read online about all these fad diets and then buy the expensive co-products that go with them and invest in all of this money invest all this money in a product that you don't have any guarantees will work for you because you are your own individual person. Your body chemistry is much different from Zac Efron, who's telling you to drink mineral water from the Himalayas.
Is he really?
He watched an episode of like Zac Efron's like online streaming TV show thing, and the very first episode had to do with mineral water. And so now my dad and his girlfriend are splurging their money on bottled water like it's going out of style. I'm like, you have perfectly good tap water right there. You could just collect it from the sky and it has minerals enough for you. Why? Yeah, but for the life of me, I don't know why he wouldn't do that. And then actually I was talking with my dad's girlfriend about this, and I'm like, yeah, so I'm going to go see a nutritionist, kind of get some feedback on what works best for my body. Because, I went on Lent, and I gave up most glutinous products for 40 days straight, and I did not feel a whole bunch of bloatiness that I normally did. And then the day of my birth, that Sunday, the end of Lent, we had cake and we have waffles and all of the glutinous products, and I felt disgusting afterwards. I was fat, and I had no idea why. I'm like, okay, that tells me something.
I believe it's glutenated.
Yeah, it was glutenated. But that tells me something. It tells me that maybe, perhaps, I don't react well to certain foods. So let's talk to a person whose entire job it is to discern these things and then create an ideal plan for that person that works towards their goals. But then she goes, okay, so but what you have to realize about the person that you go to see is that they have their own beliefs and stuff about what it is that you should do. And I'm like, okay, yes, they have their own biases, but so does everyone on the face of the planet. Yeah, so there's that. Anyway, sorry, we totally got off topic. I was talking about the congresswoman, wasn't I?
You were.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So long story short, I went to a doctor, gynecologist, who didn't take me seriously, and then 4 doctors later, I finally figured out what was wrong with me, and this kicked off a whole, journey of health consciousness and shit. And, okay, so my point is, doctors are human. They're going to either take you seriously or they're not, because of their own personal experiences as doctors, okay? It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the color of your skin. It has everything to do with them as a person. And, sure, some doctors are assholes who think that they know better than the patient about what's going on in their body. But really, you can't know for sure unless you are that person. But you are your own best advocate, okay? The thing that just blew my mind about this lady is that this doctor that she went to go see initially didn't take her seriously. And then she nearly almost, she had a preterm labor that resulted in a 1-pound child coming out of her vagina. She's like, oh, I fucked up. Please forgive me. Give me a second chance. I wouldn't touch that woman with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, I'd probably sue the pants off this ass. But
that was one thing that I was interested about. I kind of lost the plot of whom she was talking about because she started referring to the doctor, my doctor, a doctor. When she said that the chair was thrown down the hallway and then my doctor was called, was that the doctor that had apologized?
The original doctor, yeah.
Okay. And so then that doctor applied went through the procedure that her cervix was involved, and then she took it to term. Wasn't going to have another premature baby. You stayed with that doctor. Now, what I find interesting about this is that she is so hell-bent now, by her own words, speaking before Congress and having it written into the congressional record, that this is how angry she is because she needs to protect blah, 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 blah. If you were that interested in protecting unborn lives and so on and so forth, why wouldn't you have done everything in your power to sue the pants off this doctor, at least to get their medical license suspended such that they couldn't malpractice medicine against other women, because this person is clearly dangerous, putting the unborn at risk? No. Again, it's just the questions. The only thing that is consistent in your story is you are a champion and a hero, and the only thing you're missing is a cape, elected person of Congress. It is a completely self-congratulatory story, including all of the trending talking points, denying our humanity, blackness, the list goes on. The racism and that we face in healthcare, and just what the hell was that even worth?
Yeah, why go back to the doctor that you believe malpracticed in the first place, that admitted to malpracticing in the first place? That's my thing. It's okay, you want to be your own best advocate? Do that by going to good doctors, going to doctors that take you seriously, going to doctors that you have every faith in is going to practice appropriately. That's how you weed out assholes like your previous doctor who didn't take you seriously, who just wanted you to go home and abort naturally the child. If you personally want your health to be taken seriously, it starts with you. It starts with you going out of your way to find medical advocates for you that you can trust are going to do things within your own best interest.
That's what you people do. How many people believe that was actually fucking said? I mean, who would open themselves up to that kind of, like, even if you carry these thoughts, who's going to speak so bluntly? And the idea that there's only two people in the room, that there weren't other people there. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Somebody did something that egregious, lady. You should have went all across Hell's Half Acre to make sure that they're not practicing medicine anymore.
Honestly, it would have been within her own, like, what lawyer wouldn't jump on the opportunity for that? Like, that is textbook, like, straight up admittance of malpractice. The fact that she's like, I fucked up, please forgive me.
Yeah.
Right there.
Like, you openly admit it? Like, and then the person later saying, oh, we'll just have a natural abortion, or, you will abort, you will naturally through a miscarriage. And it's fine. You can have another baby because blah, blah, blah. You have to wonder if you're a fly on the wall the way that conversation originally went. It's like, well, I got pregnant right away again, like 2 months after she had this premature baby. 60 days later, she's pregnant again. Some short time after that, she's having a sonogram. And it's like, well, I get pregnant quite easily. Well, even if what did the doctor actually say? Well, so even if this doesn't go the best way that it could, and you do end up miscarrying, you seem to be very fertile, you might get pregnant again. It's not the end of the world. Like, what actually was said?
To be fair, I will say that once you've had at least a miscarry or anything that resembles somewhat of a miscarry, you are incredibly fertile afterwards.
Is that true?
Supposedly. Yeah. So I guess it's the body's way of correcting for the absence of the fetus. It's like, oh, well, we're already prepared. We're already super hormonal. So send the fucker down. Send the next fucker down.
Send the next fucker down. Happy Mother's Day, all. Travis Gardner asks...
I don't know that for certain, though, so don't quote me on it.
Travis Gardner asks, strange question. Is your otter based on Hunter S. Thompson? No, but I definitely see where you get it from. The story behind that otter, the vacation otter, as I call him, is drawn by Farzusmi. I was telling her a story that I was at campus, and there was a group of 3 people sort of in my office hallway, outside my office hallway, and they were all talking religion, which usually doesn't come up on campus because, you can imagine the environment. Mm-hmm. And anyway, they were talking about like religion, atheism, and so forth. And I was not involved in the conversation. I was sitting at my desk doing something. And at one of them that I did know in that group of 3 people turned to me and said, well, Polly, what do you think about atheists? And I said, dress lightly, hell's hot. And it was a joke. It was a fucking joke. And Far laughed her ass off. And for the record, Far went and told her mom, who also laughed her ass off, which caused Far to draw this picture and send it to me, because Far gets inspired artistically by things that she finds funny in strange ways. So, and I love this. I love it so much. The
otter is wearing no pants.
But he doesn't. He's an otter. It's like Donald Duck. He doesn't need pants. He's even Noir Otter doesn't have pants on. He's got a suit coat and a tie and everything, but he ain't got no pants on. I've heard Far went to a big description. She goes, how hard I had to look to find these stamps, the palm tree stamps, because it's the same palm tree stamp in different colors. It's all over his shirt, and he really does look like he's going off on vacation. It's like, hey, dress lightly, hell's hot, atheists.
I love it. It's very funny.
Yeah. So it was a joke that was not received well. Yeah, the reaction to those people was drop jaws, and I was like, I'm kidding. The joke. It's just they didn't think it was very funny, but I like Vacation Otter. He looks funny, so that's why I keep using him.
He's a good time. Thank you to Serpent21 who donated to say, Weebo, you experienced what my brother did when he was on a keto diet. He was following it until his birthday and had a huge Mexican dinner and chips, and it sat in his stomach and he felt sick. His body was getting used to not having that food in his system. I mean, that's probably part of the reason. I gave up quite a number of things, but the only thing that I noticed has kind of given me that uncomfortably full feeling after I see what you're doing, Polly. After eating has been the more gluten intense things. And so I think that's why I went to go get the blood work done, because I'm like, I want to confirm it. I don't want to just like have this vague inclination that this might be what's causing me problems. No, I want straight up factual confirmation of what's going on in my body. I like that picture.
So
my hair was very cute in that picture.
Yes, it was. You do pigtails well, and you look very
done.
Philosophic, because you look like you're like, see the conception of the idea. Like it looks like you're trying to plumb the depths of your intellect to get a point across. I dig it.
That's what you have to understand is
that's why I've got a number of Weebo reaction pictures that I've grabbed.
You like everyone else.
Yeah. well, you've got a very expressive face, and it's fun to.
I do. That's what I love about my face is the expressiveness of it. Here, let me move that over a little bit so you can get more of my expressiveness. And then thank you for the next 6 minutes for the donation. Were you able to solve your wardrobe malfunction? Were you able to escape the amazing floofy girl? I imagine so, since you were able to be all fabulous and stuff today. Lol. Anyhow, if y'all want great videos and streams, sub to this Weebo right freaking now. So regarding the wardrobe malfunction, I I hemmed a dress a little too short, so now it looks like one that a whore would wear. So I need to figure out how to. Yeah, and I didn't just fold it up and be like, that's okay. No, I trimmed it too short, and I can't exactly pull fabric from nowhere and attach it there. So I need to figure out a way to make it longer, but make it look natural and like it looks good. The fun thing is that it's a good thing that these dresses are such shitty quality, and I won't actually ever wear them for anything. They're project dresses, and that I like the way that they look, like the general look, the style of the dress. The fabric is absolute shit. It's this 100% polyester blend that's super easily wrinkled, doesn't take dye very well, probably collects smells like a fat guy with a t-shirt, and it probably rips really easily too. So I'm just gonna experiment with these two dresses, rip them apart, take the patterns, and leave them in the dust. Because I do like the dress shape. It's just they're shitty dresses. I only spent like $40 a piece on them, so it's not the end of the world. And then regarding my floofy girl, yeah, she allowed me leave, and now she's coming back to claim her rightful space on my lap. Hello, dearie.
See, you know what I found the other day? Check this out for a second. This is the avatar that I've used on Discord for a good while. Black Pill Daughter.
Yeah.
Well, no one else can see. There we go.
I did.
Black Pill Daughter, because he's like wrapped in a blanket, and it's like, I don't want to go out in the world.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh. I have this picture that somebody sent me. Look at it.
Someone did that intentionally.
I know, somebody wrapped him up in a blanket, but I mean, I love it. It's Black Pill Daughter, but real dough. I've got to clean this picture up and crop it and darken some areas and stuff, and use this as my avatar. This is real life Black Pill Daughter.
It's so cute though.
I don't want to go out in the world.
Thank you to S-Serpent21 for the donation. Again, I missed last week and heard all the cat names. How about Hillary Kitten? I also like the name Meowschwitz. Someone is an Archer fan. I don't actually... Babe, have you ever seen an episode of Archer? My love. He can't hear me right now. He's very intently beating up on some video game person.
Yeah, switch from Archer. I know.
I don't think
I know the
he's
reference
ever
well.
seen an episode though. Like maybe potentially. Hello, dear. Maybe potentially he's seen like a reference to that episode. Oh, that's a tail. A reference to that episode on the internet through like meme culture, but I don't think he's ever actually watched Archer. I can ask when he's less preoccupied. Babe, have you ever seen Archer?
Yeah.
The TV show?
Yeah.
Is that where you got Meowschwitz from?
Is that where I got the what?
The name Meowschwitz.
No.
Okay, yeah.
But better be careful, otherwise you're gonna be heading into the danger zone.
Oh my god. So, Polly, you want to see the worst thing ever?
No.
Okay. Here you go.
What?
You ready to see the shredded chicken?
Oh, this is the shredded chicken. Okay. Oh God!
Chicken.
It's a frozen piece of chicken they've shredded.
Everyone will love. Let's start our recipe by grating 500 grams of chicken breast.
I don't even know how you would know. It's 500 grams.
Then transfer the chicken in a bowl.
Sit.
Add 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese.
Like if it
2
was just
tablespoons
brown
of
chicken, it wouldn't be
breadcrumbs,
weird.
1 egg, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic, and mix well.
Well, get your fucking hands in there,
Leave
you
in the
pussy.
comments where you're watching us from, so that I can personally thank you for keep on sharing our recipes.
Okay,
We'd
what irks
love
me
to
about this
know.
recipe is like, where's the egg?
Yeah.
Why are you not putting the
what's
binding egg?
I was
in
just
there
saying,
to kind
where's
of-
your binder? What?
Exactly. Like, you just expect the chicken to keep to its own? And also, why would you shred the chicken or grate the chicken? Sorry, grate the chicken. Why would you grate the chicken and then add the seasoning? Wait, why not just cook it with the seasonings?
What are they going to do with it? Make patties out of it and do chicken
Well,
burgers?
I'll show you.
In a pan, add
Grated
1
chicken
tablespoon
breast.
of butter and spread it across with a brush.
Strangest application of butter in my entire life that I've ever seen.
That's way too much butter, but okay.
You think so?
A tablespoon just for.
Most
Yeah.
recipes call for like a tablespoon of some sort of fat. Usually it's oil, but
Well, that's
or
what I'm
olive
saying.
oil.
You could use any old kind of oil. I don't understand why. Anyway, moving on. Yeah.
Because butter is the fat of the degenerates. I don't know. Fuck.
The fat of the degenerates. Okay.
I say that in jest because my grandfather was the type to like take a slab of butter on a knife and put it into onto each bite of his bread roll with dinner. So yeah, that's part of the reason why he lived to be 96.
Now, add in the pan the mixture we've previously prepared.
I like how we didn't hand knead the chicken with all of the seasonings
I
in, but
know.
now we're just like taking the gloves off, patting it into the pan with our bare hands. Like we had to have a rubber scraper for the mixture, but this, no. We're not good enough for this.
And spread it across using your hands. If you're still watching the video, you're
She even stipulates using your hands.
Yeah.
loving the recipe. Then like the video and comment below, I love chicken. Now, turn on medium heat, cover the pan with the lid, and leave it to cook.
Have you ever cooked meat
Not
with
in that.
a lid like that?
Not in that. No. And it's
No.
just the chicken, of course, has gone from pink to white and it's puffed up in a weird way. This is unfortunate.
It looks like a giant omelet, but made with egg whites only.
And it would be so dense.
Yeah.
Because they didn't add enough breadcrumbs. Like when you're anyway, moving on.
For 15 minutes. Then turn it over and keep cooking.
But it gets so much worse, Polly. It's not over yet, okay?
Okay.
Add on top a bit of tomato sauce and spread it. This recipe is very tasty. I'm sure you're gonna love it.
She seems like she's trying to convince us a little too hard of that.
Yeah, this is anyway. Yeah.
Also, add ham, mozzarella cheese,
This is such a waste of food just for TikTok views. Good
I
God.
know, right?
It makes me
Why?
angry, actually. Because it's like you're so obviously just doing an ironic.
And
I'm going to gross people out by wasting a whole bunch of food with a really unfunny video.
cover the pan, and leave it to cook.
Because fame on TikTok is life.
I could do like a whole segment on reacting to TikTok food videos with disgust.
I guess, but I mean that's sort of what they want. I would like to do a reaction of just you have no creativity, you have no life. The best you can do is gross out comedy, and you're not even good at it.
And our recipe is ready. Quick.
It's ready.
It's ready.
All my friends are gonna laugh at this. I'm so funny.
This bitch just claimed that it tastes better than pizza. Sure, Jan. Now, okay, you want to know what I want out of a TikTok video? All right, I want them to eat the whole goddamn fucking creation.
Yeah,
Put it in their mouth.
Yeah,
I want
it's like when you catch a kid smoking and you're like, all right, we're going to sit here and I'm going to watch you smoke every one of these cigarettes. I'd love to sit down and be like, all right, bet you're going to eat that whole fucking thing now. You said it was tasty, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, she did put eggs into the bowl. I missed that.
So did I.
Oh, here's another great recipe. Shall we indulge?
What was the base of it? Was that
here?
Was that pizza dough?
Yeah, that's dough.
Okay.
It's such shit quality though.
It's a pizza roll. That's interesting. I wonder how that would turn out.
Ronies and of course the olive. Only one olive though.
Right.
Because there's like a special thing. Mm-hmm. But first, what? No.
Yay,
Stop.
TikTok.
Stop. It started off so well. I don't even know if this is TikTok because it doesn't have the TikTok thing. No, don't puree that. Oh! No! No! Stop. Stop. No, forget the olive. I don't even like olives. Did he just put that into a bundt cake tin? Make a sandwich for dinner. Arise early, remove from mold, chip gently. Did he freeze it? I don't know what's going on, people. He's... Okay. Dump into an aged oak barrel. What? Oh, I think this guy's just poking fun. God damn it. I've been bamboozled. God fucking damn it, he got me. Wait, did it just start over again? Almost done. Just 6 more steps. Oh my god. Light on fire. Okay, this one I can get behind. This is pretty funny. Stuff into bell peppers. Don't forget the olive. Okay, all right. I feel better about this video now that I know. It didn't look appetizing at all, but that was fucking hilarious. God damn it. we got bamboozled, kids.
Yeah, no shit.
I thought it was going to be one of those genuinely disgusting ones, and it was genuinely disgusting, but it was for the memes.
Check your Discord, Weebo.
I'm checking my Discord. What do you want from me, people? Where?
DMs.
Oh, okay.
Thank you to the next 6 minutes. If you're doing a noir bar sometime in the middle of next week, I'd be down. Well, I'd be down to have you. And it'd be fun. We're like 2 trains passing in the night. Keep missing noir bar, my dudes. Someday, perhaps. Anyhow, if you want great content, follow this awesome otter. Like right now. Yeah, you can follow me. You know how easy it is to find me? I'm at like /Polydub.
I gave him the links in the description if you want.
Yay!
Yeah.
If you forget them, it's just /Polydub at YouTube.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. So, shall we go for another 7 minutes? Mama's got to be at work at 5:30 in the morning. Again.
Jesus. And you're going to work, right?
To work, like into plant work.
Yeah.
If it was just at home work, it wouldn't be a big deal, but going into the office requires me to put face on, feed the cats before we leave, get all my shit together. It takes me a good amount of time. I have to make coffee. I can't just get up and walk over to my desk in my pajamas and start the day. No. There's a whole step process that has to go into that. So another 6 minutes, and then we can close this sucker out. Another successful show.
Yeah.
Actually, I had fun with this one, despite the very real content at the beginning. It was a good time. Yeah, no, I don't like olives, people. They
You don't?
me. I don't like olives.
Oh.
I like olive oil, but I don't like olives.
Oh.
And that's any olive. There's just something like maybe if the olives were freshly plucked from a tree, I would like that.
I don't know why that was funny to me. Sorry, go ahead.
But the fact that they come out of a bottle, there's just something in the taste of them that disgusts me.
Oh, it's that wonderful brine they're in. Okay, so check this out. The Drunkle sent a care package to his heterosexual life partner Sinatra, and my words, not theirs.
Okay, naturally.
Well, they sent shit to each other. Like, here's some classic American stuff, and here's some classic British stuff that you don't have access to unless you go to like an import store or whatever. Yeah. And one of the items was something I had never heard of: Branson pickle. Now, see, that face tells me you never heard of it either. See what I mean? Expressive.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of this.
And your classic inability to communicate. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Sinatra goes, well, what is it? He goes, it's pickle. He goes, yeah, okay. It's called Branson pickle. I get that, but what is it? And he goes, what? I don't. It's pickle.
Pickle what?
Because
pickle,
you put it on his.
What?
And the answer, it's a spreadable chutney. It's like a chunky
like
spread.
Relish?
Yes, exactly. It's like a tart relish.
Just fucking say relish.
Yeah. Why didn't he? Again, because in Britum,
fucking Brits.
All you need to do is say pickle, and everybody understands what you mean. You know it.
No, it's relish.
Yeah,
or jardiniere. I will accept both.
Oh, I've never heard that word. A jardiniere?
You've never heard of jardiniere?
No, I haven't.
Polly,
what
am I going to do with you? All right.
Explain a jardiniere.
I will explain jardiniere. No, that's not what it is. Jardiniere. Jardiniere. Is it spelled with a G?
Sounds like it's got some accents over the letters, though.
Yes, it is spelled with a G. Okay, that's why I wasn't finding it. It is an Italian relish of pickled vegetables in vinegar and oil. So it looks like something like this.
Oh.
It's what one would put on like Italian beef to kind of give it some oomph. You know?
Yeah.
I like the hot stuff, but I'm not like the biggest fan of jardiniere. I'd rather have very like finely chopped onions on my shenanigans, or like a nice relish, or just a whole ass pickle. Give me a whole ass pickle. Skip the baby steps.
Well, it's fun. It's Cynic says like mustard pickles. I've had mustard pickles. Like from what it was very much like a relish mixture of different things that were all in one jar. And I was like, so is it very vinegary? Do you get? And Sinatra's like, oh yeah, it's got a very strong vinegar smell coming on. He goes, oh yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a tart, not sweet spread, etc. And Sinatra apparently hates or dislikes all things sour. We came to find out because I'm like, he says, I don't even like pickles. I'm like, oh, do you like pickled eggs? And Drunkle's like, fuck yeah, I love pickled eggs. You like them, Weeps?
I like not pickled eggs, but I like any kind of pickle, really.
Anything that's been pickled in a brine?
Really, yeah, except for olives.
Which is weird, which is interesting. I had pickled Vienna sausages and pickled hot dogs. No, can't, no.
Wait, they do that? They pickle those?
Yeah, they do, man. It's just, I don't know, soft meat that's been sitting in a pickle brine. I can't do it, man. I can't. I like Vienna, so like me and your boy Pat, like when he was trying to gross out. I'd still love that video. You guys should go back on his channel and check it out where he tries to gross out. What was it called? Grossing out my YouTube fam or something like that. I love that video so much because it's just him eating shit that he knows is going to make people sick that he loves. And he's like, look at this pig's feet. Now watch me eat it.
Ew. Yeah, no, so I think a lot of the appeal for pickled stuff has to do with like the crunch that accompanies that blast of vinegar in your face. Oh, my mouth is watering right now just thinking about it.
Yeah. I like sour stuff, from sour candies to pickled stuff. Pickled eggs are fantastic. I made my own. I should give you my brine recipe. It was very spicy.
Yes, I like spicy brines.
Yeah, and a couple people mentioned pickled onions, Lime Patriot, and Cynic. Yeah, I know some people love the pickled, real small baby onions. They're not me, because onions are like the devil's weed. But
even when pickled.
Even when pickled.
Well,
pickled pig's feet are the best. I can't. It's a foot though. That's what I.
Yeah, and bacon is another part of the pig that I can't come up with because I don't know exactly where it comes from on the pig.
The belly or the side, I had thought.
But the point stands that it's a different part of the pig. You're just being
selective. You're right. It is completely subjective and arbitrary because I am actually a fan of chitterlings, whatever you want to call them, because when cooked right, they're tender and they're the hog maws too. And that's like stomach and intestines, but that's good. So it's, I admit it. I'm being arbitrary.
Yes, you are.
I don't want to eat a foot, but I'll eat the guts.
That's fair. And on that note, Polly, we are at time. So would you like to take the last couple of seconds to show yourself?
Yeah. Yay, me. There we go.
Anything that you want to share with the audience about what you're doing the next week?
Well, hold on. Tomorrow's what? Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, well, AAA will be happening. We'll be over on Drunken Uncle's channel, and it's Monday, where everybody is British because he decided that for some reason. There's a link to my channel.
Wait, do you speak with a British accent too?
No, I don't do that. No.
Well, that's lame. What's wrong with you?
But all of a sudden everything becomes British in the sense that you can no longer microwave your tea for some reason. I don't quite get that one. But,
you can't microwave your tea? What's wrong with these people?
I don't know. I use a kettle myself, so I don't really have a horse in that race. Well,
I have a kettle too, but I mean, what if it gets cold? What if you don't drink it fast enough? Like, these are legitimate questions that need to be answered.
Well, wait a minute. I do. So I use a French press, right? And by the time you get to like the second half, because I use a massive fucking French press because I need my coffee. I need a lot of it. And by the time you get to the second half, it's no longer toasty hot. So I heat it up a little bit in the microwave. Is that going to be the same thing? What do they want me to rekettle it? That's not going to happen.
No, fuck that.
Right.
But anyway, so AAA meeting this Monday
is Wednesday or Monday over on Drunken Uncle's channel, and then Wednesday on my channel, but always at 5:30 Eastern. Or 5:30 a.m. on Christmas Island.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to have a video out this week before I leave for Florida. Hopefully I will, but in the event that I don't, you can hate me a little bit more.
See, 6 gets it. Chitlins are awesome with hot sauce. Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't need to season them much, just a little bit. Get a couple onions in there. Be very careful with the garlic. White pepper, don't use black pepper because it'll make people think you haven't cleaned them properly. Whatever, but you can put your sauces on afterwards and then cooked right for a long, long time. They're so tender on top of with grits, chitlins with grits, corn mush, delicious. Anyway, Weebo, you should give it a shot.
I will. I don't even want to know what chitlins are, but I'm looking it up right now.
They're pig guts, basically.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
It's a certain part of the intestinal lining. It's good.
Interesting, because I've been called a chitlin by my father for many years, and
my little chitlin.
I just thought it was a term of endearment. Little did I know it's a certain part of a pig gut. Thanks, Dad. Anyway, so guys, I will be in Florida next week and the week after, so no cocktail hours for the next 2 weeks. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did talk about. God damn it, Weebo.
Sorry that I'm going out of town and will be inaccessible. Kind of.
Yeah, fair enough. Fine.
I want to go on vacation. Damn it.
Fair enough.
I mean, the last several years, I have gone on vacation and brought my show along with me so I could do it. And I'm like, no, this year I'm going to be on the beach. I'll be inaccessible. And
we're going to I'm about to harass her to strategically record some videos that we'll be able to drop in time.
Okay, we'll find out. We could do that.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that and see if that's a thing. Yeah.
All right, so guys, I'll see you when I see you next. Not next week, not the week after that, but the week after that, we'll be back here, same time, same place, same udder, same face. Until then, have a good time.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome.
Yes, we appreciate it.